school board meeting to order of December 16th. Joe, roll call, please.
Everyone's here now, John.
Here.
Here. John.
Here.
Tubby. Here. Jennifer.
Here.
I'm here. And Jim. Present.
Proof of notice,
As listed in the agenda.
approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Joe, second by Nora. Glad to have you back again.
Yeah.
You get somebody to
Talk?
to do these motions in seconds.
I got to record.
We all looked at each other and looked over like normal.
I'm good for something.
Any questions on the agenda? Joe?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carried 7-0.
First
For
for
a long time.
That is good to hear.
Yeah. Citizens' comments. Approval of minutes of the previous meeting. Motion by Nora,
Second.
second by Jim. Questions on the minutes? Nora?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Send her up.
Aye.
There, and then finally got in.
Motion carried 7-0. Jim, you ready for treasurer's report?
Yes. The Treasurer's report for Monday, December 16th, 2019. Total expenditures of all funds for the month of November were $1,528,827.66. Our investments, state investment pool, as of November 30, general fund, $426,605.69 with interest of $1,030.63. Debt service has a balance of 14 cents. Non-refundable debt balance of $1,290.45, earned interest of $1.81. Total investments, government investment pool, $427,896.28. And Threshing State Bank account, general fund, $383,206.40, earned interest of $1,184.34. Money market general, $11,197.99, earned interest of $20.21. And our Fund 46 Trust, $1,242.09, earned interest of $2.24. Total investment, Threshing State Bank, $395,646.48, for a total investment, $823,542.76. And you can see that balance is getting down there.
So this should be the low, right?
Oh, as far as cash flow goes?
Yeah.
I'm not raising any concerns.
Any questions on the treasurer's report? We have resolution 1920-127, approval of the treasurer's report.
So move.
Motion by Dick,
Second.
second by Tatiana. Any questions? Dick?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0. Resolution 1920-128, approval of regular semi-monthly bills. Need a motion? Nora,
Second.
second by Joe. Questions on the bills? Hearing none. Nora?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried 7-0. Resolution 1920-129, approval of per diem.
So moved.
Motion by Jenny,
Second.
second by Joe. Any changes?
Put me down for, December sixth.
Was that all day or a half day?
It goes half day, or that.
It was a half.
Half day?
That's more than half a day.
No, we didn't need to go to the whole,
Oh, okay.
they had the morning was how you're new to the model, is what it was, so we just went to the afternoon. Kids from that, I can speak to that.
Any other changes? Jenny?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0. Joe, any communications? Committee reports? Administrative report.
I'm just gonna comment at 6:06. Guys, flying through this agenda, like typically that takes at least 10 minutes.
Sure.
So, okay, so for me, one of the things I want to share is that the work that we have been doing for strategic planning is starting to really come to fruition here. So it's called the Continuous Improvement Action Plan that we've been working with Ted Knightsky and Jean Marie through their CISA 6 School Improvement Initiative. So a lot of words and stuff. So what we have is we actually have a draft document that'll be shared, I think, at the next board meeting with you. And with that, it has 4 main goals for the school district, and underneath that, it has key performance indicators. Okay, so it's all strategic planning stuff. So at our building and department levels, we have goal teams that are aligned to it. And just from talking to the administrators today, I think we're made just a ton of progress. So it'll become your document as a Board of Education. So we're vetting it out, kind of last call with the staff, and then just looking for that next step from our coaches that we've been working with. So for sure, if they don't happen to connect with us, one of them had a loss in the family and just it's been difficult to communicate with. So if they don't, at the next board meeting, I'll just share whatever we have. But I know they wanted to be very intentional and to come down to meet with you actually as a board and to have like a working session. So I'm working on coordinating that. Just want you to know, like originally I thought we'd been tonight. I thought tonight was the night that we have it. And we're on track, so these pieces are all coming together. And we're using, as an example, data from 2018, 2018-19. So stay tuned. I originally thought it would be tonight, but I think for sure I'll at least have the draft to you at the next board meeting, if not try to coordinate like a workshop. So in the month of January, I think it'd be great to have our coaches come down and spend some time with you, because the metrics are, like one of the examples is the percent of fund balance. What does the board want to see in that? That is a board goal. I can give you a recommendation as a superintendent, but that's a board goal. So what do you want to see our mod rate be for insurance? That's a board. So all these things are up to you. We're going to come with recommendations and, hey, this is kind of best practice, and when you look at other districts, here's the rationale for it. But in the meantime, it's yours. So, and you're the ones who end up giving us a report card. So it's pretty exciting. I think it's all really good stuff. So that's coming. I'm just going to give you a little tip. It will be here soon. This week, Wednesday, is the day at the Capitol for the CISA 6 superintendents. So I'll be spending the day down there getting legislative updates. And then we have a monthly superintendent group meeting. It's called the PAC. That'll actually be at the Capitol. And Ted does a really nice job of having us advocate. And so it's going to be a day of thank you for the work that people are doing, as well as some chance to make some connections with the legislative people. So that's cool. He's advocating for other people, like in Ryan's role, to head down and have a day as well. Is he advocating to you guys at all in your principal networks? That's cool. So we have in-service this week, Friday, so it's an early release day, actually. So that's our only early release other than the end of the school year. So for the entire year. And it's something that we used to have a lot of, and now we just try to keep it simple for families. We have a whole day off. We pack that day. So this will give people a chance to hit the roads a little earlier if they're heading out of town for vacation. So our winter break goes through January 1st, so we come back on January 2nd. You have a board meeting on January 6th, and as I was sharing just earlier, right before the board meeting, I would like to coordinate a policy meeting that night. So it's a light agenda, it's January, I know that. So we're gonna plan to have a policy meeting so that we can get 2 rounds of updates done. So that should go relatively quick, I believe, probably about an hour would be to do it. And I will get all of the policy materials to you in advance so you can read them. One of the things that we'll need though for Jennifer, there's some directions on how to get into the policies. So all of our policies are on board docs, they're online for everybody to see. But the draft versions are not. So there's a process to go through to get to the draft version. So we'll just send out a reminder to everybody, kind of a step-by-step on how to get access to that. Okay?
Okay.
So, and it's pretty straightforward. And all of the edits are in red or green. Green is if it's new content, red is if it's being struck out, and then the rest is there. A new policy, we literally see it right on it, new policy. You don't really see too many news, mostly it's updates in the vision. So, Joe joined Ryan Namer and I at the Baird Model workshop. And really, I think right there, they were just kind of giving a state of the state on the updates that automatically happen to it. So the Baird model, Baird is a financial advisor. There's other models that are out there. This is one that's been a good resource for us. And we will be absolutely using it for strategic planning. And we need to go through and make a bunch of updates. So Ryan has been doing a lot of payroll stuff since we've consolidated our role. And he's hunkering down and going to start working in this Baird model over the next couple of weeks. So we'll have some updates with that in January, February. And then that's the guiding resource that we use to make our budget decisions as far as the forecast goes. So we predict having to make reductions, just so you're aware, again. But we don't know. We have no idea at what level it is. So we got to get into the model, and that'll help us. So there are additional funds coming from the state of Wisconsin next year. So hopefully it will look good. One of the things that came out of that was the number one thing I heard multiple times from different angles is the recommendations for school boards to look at the thesis as an opportunity to be strategic and to control the ups and downs of mill rates. So it's difficult to tell the story of what happens with the local levy when it's doing this all the time. So that came up, and we were able to say, yeah, we're aware of that. And so they really strongly encouraged that boards try to control that roller coaster ride. So that was nice that we were able to reflect and say, okay, yep, we understand that. So that would be it for mine. I'm going to be on vacation almost that entire break. I think I'll be in like a day. So I'll just put out an office for the entire week. So,
That's it? Okay, thanks. Becky? What's new?
I got pictures today.
Hey.
I was on the ball, I was ready. So, things happening in Parkview. So the first couple of slides are just kind of some of the learning that's going on at Parkview. You can see Ellen Hilbert in the upper left-hand corner right down on the carpet with the kiddos. They were doing some math work. They were reading a book called Butterfly Countdown, and they were using that book to kind of figure out what it looks like when you start having butterflies fly away in their book, and they were using their Unifix cubes to kind of manipulate and show that and demonstrate that as they were working. In the lower left corner, that's Amy Kranz. These are not unusual scenes to see within in our classrooms. Just so you know, Amy was down conferencing with kiddos about their reading as they were working on nonfiction reading is what the second graders are working on right now. And I think my favorite two pictures are the ones on the right. So the upper picture and the lower picture on the right are Kirsten Pilsner's first grade classroom, and I walked in and they were doing snap word boot camp. So snap words are those words that we should know in a snap, the and very quick words, and there's about 50 of them or so that they need to know as first graders. So the boot camp part was they had different motions they had to do for the letters. So if the word was U, the letter Y goes below the line. If the letters go below the line, they had to hit the deck, like in that bottom left-hand corner. And they had to be on the ground. If it went above the line, then they had to put their hands above their head. And if it was normal, like within the line, then the hands were on their knees. So I got to watch these kids do boot camp as they were practicing spelling out their snap words. So that's part of that new phonics program that we have incorporated. This is the second year first graders use that phonics program.
That's awesome.
But it's very interactive and it's fun to watch these kids, like I said, work out to their snap words. The next slide shows, again, some math work. You've got Karen Schwartz over on the left-hand side. These kids were working with actually a closed number line, and they had a manipulative. There's a stuffed frog in there. His name is Tad, and he's like the math mascot. And Tad was showing them how to jump places, jump forward to things, jump backwards to things, and then the kids were actually writing on those whiteboards, they're writing out their math equations that go along with that particular story problem as they were working them out. Angie Smersik was playing a game against her kids, introducing something that we call workplaces. So workplaces are it's very game-based, but these are activities that the kids don't really know they're doing math. These are activities that they're working on. So in this picture, Angie was introducing a new workplace for the kids, and when she introduces the workplace, it's her against the classes. The kids take turns coming up and playing the game with Angie. And the last is just, all three buildings have these new Be Kind posters. I have ours hanging in our gym right now, and it was going to be a temporary place, but I think we're going to keep it there. We had it hanging for Literacy Night, so lots of families were taking advantage of it even during Literacy Night and the concerts last week.
So literally, you can stand in front of it and you can be the I am. So pretty clever.
Right.
Fun.
We had our concerts last week. Maggie Mitchell, I will tell you, she is something else with the kids. Every group, so kindergarten, first and second grade, all did a song without singing. Each did one of the sweeps from the Nutcracker Suite, one of the movements from it. And the second graders and first graders used red and green paper plates to have like dance motions and movement motions as they did the song. And kindergartners did the Sugar Plum Fairy, and they had like strings with ribbons that they danced with. So it was very fun. It's the first time in a while that each grade level got their kind of own set of songs that they got to perform. In the past, first and second would do like a musical, but this year everybody got a chance to have their own set of songs. And then the crew with the Santa hats, that's our Parkview 4K crew at their concert last week, and they sang Must Be Santa, Must Be Santa. That's right. And then Parkview Literacy Night was on Friday night, this last Friday night. We had 300 guests come into the building. That we provided them a free meal and activities that they could do. So you can see some of the activities from Christmas bingo. The art room was being used for arts and crafts. There was a family reading room where they read a book, and then the families could fill out an ornament with the name of the book they read and hang it from our family reading tree. And then our giving tree is there. That is, every ornament on the tree indicates a family or a child who donated something for our adoptive families. And under that tree you'll find food and some toys and just a plethora of things that we're very thankful that we had people be able to donate and allow us to be able to share with some of our Parkview families this season.
These pictures look like they're done with a professional camera.
Totally with a Google Pixel.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wow, good job.
Actually, those aren't mine. I can't take credit. I brought my daughter in to take the pictures.
Look at the clarity of those, though, the ability with the depth of focus and stuff.
And then coming up this week, we're not done yet. We've got the NHS coming down on Friday. This will be the 4th year that we've done this. NHS comes down and just parties with the Parkview kids. They get a chance to dance and sing. They get tattoos. They get candy canes. It's about 45 minutes of just fun. I forgot to mention that our Santa Claus was at Literacy Night, and Santa Claus will be here. My friends, our Santa Claus is our own Travis Bates.
Oh, really? That's a great idea.
Travis Bates was Santa at Literacy Night. He's going to be Santa Claus for the
That's
NHS
awesome.
sing-along, so that will be very fun. And then we have our Cardinal Way celebration this upcoming Thursday.
What time is it on Thursday?
Thursday, we always start at 2:20.
Okay.
So that's it.
Thank you, Becky. Lee?
Thanks, John. Actually, I'll mention a couple things, then I'll have Tom come up, because I think we got it on there. I just wanted to compliment our music department. I thought our instrumental and our vocal concert this past couple weeks have been the best we've seen in a couple of years. And to have it in that auditorium where the sound and the seating are so nice A lot of compliments from parents as they left, left the evening. We will be providing our juniors a chance to take the pre-ACT tomorrow, which is kind of a prelude or practice to the ACT. What we'll do is we'll have our data back when we get returned from Christmas, and then we've got a good 8 weeks of helping kids improve certain scores or their total composite, and the way we do that is through the use of Cardinal time, and then we also run some study sessions on Sunday nights, Saturday mornings, weeknights for kids that have a target score that they're going for compared to the one they received on their pre-ACT. Chris Bassett just...
Mandatory for everyone?
Pardon me?
Is that mandatory?
Taking the test?
No, not taking the test, but taking the pre-ACT.
What we've taken the pre-ACT, everyone's going to sit for that, Mr. Holman, and then what we'll do is out of a 5-day week period, 2 out of the 5 days we are going to attempt to make mandatory for the rehearsal, the practice, and then the other 3 days are there, and Tom will speak to what the Cardinal time is about to see who will have to be there versus who can be there. Just to let the board know, Chris Pask and I met with our early graduates after it was approved last time, and we met with our early graduates and laid out their expectations for the rest of the semester. Over Christmas break, our graphic sign, Scott, what's the sign company? Signworks? No. Signworks. We'll be coming in and finalizing our entries and our doors in terms of labeling the graphics, so then now all 3 buildings will have where to enter, what to do when you get there, visitors and things like that. And just a reminder, on Tuesday, January 7th, we'll be hosting our incoming 9th grade elective night. We're sending a postcard home tomorrow, or I believe on Wednesday, to save the date. That's the night in which our incoming freshmen for next year meet with our elective teachers, and then we also offer opportunities for our returning 10th, 11th, and 12th graders to meet with reps from Moraine Park, Marion College, Marion University, the UW system, and we also have our YA, or Youth Apprenticeship Coordinator, coming and presenting that night as well. So that's a great opportunity to already start planning for next year. And then what I'm going to have Tom quickly do when he comes up here. Tom, can you speak to what Interact Club is going to be doing this weekend?
Yeah, got a lot of stuff going on. First though, back around Thanksgiving, Interact, FFA, and FBLA all had their own little food drives in their own little way. We donated 3 truckloads worth of food and a $500 check to the Mayville Food Pantry. Karen just got those pictures finally. I had a hard time getting them off my phone. Technology, I'm old. Okay. What's that?
Call your wife next time.
Well, yeah, no doubt.
Camera though.
What's that?
She uses the camera.
Yeah, I got it. So this week on Wednesday, we're going to try something new called Dollar Days. We're going to try to have every student in school bring $1 and every staff member bring $10 for our Christmas or holiday giving program. We're going to go again with the fire department and the police department to deliver food, take kids in the fire trucks and go to needy families, deliver boxes of food. We also want to put a nice gift card in there with some of the money that we would collect this Wednesday. Friday morning, candy canes and hot chocolate when the kids enter school. Got a bunch of students and our special needs kids are going to help with that as well, to be there to hand that stuff out. The fire department, I think we have up to 30 dozen cookies we're going to have students decorate and deliver to assisted living, nursing facilities, things like that. 30 dozen, I think it is now we're up to. Looks like we got quite a crew going to go down to the fire department Sunday at noon to do that. So a lot of pretty cool things going on at the high school with our students. So,
No, that's it.
we got it all.
And while you're up here, we'll...
Yeah. All right, so Cardinal score update. This is what's been going on so far. So can we go forward there? All right. So 6 weeks into the school year, we allow juniors and seniors to leave at 2:45 with parental permission. At the 9-week rating mark, students that had a 2.0 or higher and all 2s and 3s on their Cardinal scores were allowed to leave during Cardinal time with parental permission, of course. The ones that didn't make the grade, they stayed and they were assigned to be present at all of our 2:45 to 3:20 Cardinal times for academic help.
Can you, one thing just real quick. So what does it mean to get a 3, 2, or a 1?
Okay, we have scores on respect, responsibility, and safety. And if you have a score of a 3, if a teacher gives you a score of a 3, you are exceeding expectations or meeting expectations.